Before we begin, I want you to pause everything for a moment and take a gentle breath, because what you're about to hear is not a lecture, it's not a reminder, it's not even a message, it's a mirror that Allah is placing in front of your heart, a mirror that will show you why your life has been shifting, why your soul has been restless, why certain people were removed, why certain doors closed, why certain prayers felt delayed, and why you, yes you, have been feeling a strange pull inside your chest that you couldn't explain to anyone. You're not here by accident. You didn't click this video randomly. You didn't arrive at this exact moment in your life by coincidence. Allah brought you here because lately you've been searching for answers in silence. You've been pretending you're fine when your heart is tired. You've been walking around people who have no idea how close you are to breaking or awakening. Your mind has been loud, your nights have been heavy, your emotions have been unpredictable. And you keep asking yourself, why do I feel different? Why is Allah removing people from my life? Why can't I connect with anyone the way I used to? Why does my heart feel like it's shifting even when nothing outside has changed? My dear soul, somewhere deep inside you, you know the answer. Allah is aligning you. But alignment does not begin with ease. It begins with disruption. It begins with confusion. It begins with loss. It begins with detachment. It begins with silence. When Allah wants to bring you closer, He doesn't start by adding. He starts by removing. Removing people who cloud your heart. Removing distractions that steal your peace. Removing habits that weaken your soul. Removing attachments that would break you later. Removing desires that were lowering your worth. Removing noise that was numbing your intuition, because Allah cannot elevate you while you're holding on to things that were meant to expire. And right now, as you listen to these words, Allah is asking your heart one thing: are you finally ready to let me lead you? Because your heart has been tired from leading itself. You've been trying to heal alone, trying to understand alone, trying to carry burdens that were never meant to be carried alone. And Allah watched every moment of it. He saw you trying to save relationships He knew were hurting you. He saw you begging for acceptance from people who didn't value you. He saw you apologizing for things that weren't your fault. He saw you shrinking yourself just to fit into places you were never meant to stand. And so Allah stepped in, not to break you, but to rebuild you, not to silence you, but to purify you, not to isolate you, but to elevate you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. So if you've lost something recently, if someone changed unexpectedly, if a door closed painfully, if your heart became restless, if your soul feels like it's shedding something, just know you are not being pulled away, you are being pulled up tonight. Your heart is going to hear truths that it wasn't ready for before. Truths that will finally give meaning to every confusing, painful, silent moment you've been living through. So settle in, don't rush, don't skip. Let this message wash over your heart. The way rain washes dust from a forgotten window, because you are about to understand why Allah changed your path. Right? When you thought you were close to the breakthrough, and why this change is the breakthrough. Allah removes your need for acceptance when He's about to raise your worth. When Allah begins changing your life, He doesn't start with the world around you. He starts with the world inside you. He begins with the quietest corners of your heart, the rooms nobody sees, the feelings you never speak about, the fears you hide with a smile. He begins by touching the places in you that were tired of pretending, tired of performing, tired of bending just to be accepted. And suddenly you don't have the same energy. to chase love that runs from you, to fight for attention that disappears, to prove your worth to people who only saw you when they needed something. You start feeling a distance from the very people you once tried so hard to impress. You feel a stillness where you used to feel panic. You feel a softness where you used to feel fear. You feel a strange freedom where you once felt trapped by the opinions of others. You find yourself saying less, explaining less, justifying less. Not because you're angry, not because you're bitter, not because you hate anyone, but because your soul is finally healing. Allah is removing the chains. You quietly allowed people to place on your heart. You begin noticing things you overlooked before. The way someone's tone changed, the way someone only came when they needed you, the way someone made you feel small, the way someone used your kindness as their comfort zone. And your heart whispers to you, this is not your place anymore. And it hurts because you were loyal, you were sincere, you were giving, you were real. But that's exactly why Allah stepped in. He saw how much of yourself you poured into hands that didn't value it. He saw the way you carried people who never carried you. He saw the love you gave to people who didn't give you peace. So Allah began to pull you back, not to isolate you, but to protect you. Sometimes Allah saves you by removing your desire for what is not meant for your soul. You will notice it in small ways first. You don't feel excited to impress anyone. You don't rush to reply to someone who never made time for you. You don't force conversations that drain you. You don't chase after people who walked away with ease. You slowly stop needing what was never truly yours. Your heart begins to quiet down in ways you've never experienced before. And that silence, that stillness, that calm is not emptiness. It is Allah realigning your soul. He is shifting your desires. He is cleaning your heart. He is removing weak attachments. He is lifting you above the noise. You are no longer bothered by the opinions that once broke you. You are no longer shaken by the people who once controlled your emotions. You are no longer terrified of losing those who never saw your worth. You begin to realize that the people who walked away were actually being removed. You begin to realize that the silence you're experiencing is making room for clarity, for purpose, for peace. You begin to realize that acceptance from people was costing you acceptance from yourself. And deep inside your soul whispers, I am changing and I don't know why, but it feels right. Because when Allah raises your worth, He raises your awareness too. He allows you to see things you couldn't see while chasing. He allows you to feel truths you once ignored. He allows you to release hands you once held tightly because you feared being alone. But my dear soul, you are not alone. You are never alone. Allah is closer to you now than ever before. He is closer in the moments you feel forgotten. He is closer in the nights you cry quietly. He is closer in the silence where you're learning to breathe again. Allah does not take anything without giving something better. But sometimes He takes the acceptance of people so He can give you alignment with Him. He removes the attention of people so you can feel the warmth of His presence. He removes the praise of people so your heart becomes sincere again. He removes the comfort of people so you finally walk toward His comfort. And the most beautiful part, you don't even realize how much He's protecting you. He saved you from heartbreaks you didn't even see coming. He saved you from betrayal that would have crushed you. He saved you from friendships that were poisoning you slowly. He saved you from circles that would have destroyed your identity. He saved you from acceptance that was not meant for someone with a heart like yours, because you are meant for something higher, and Allah knows your worth even when you forget it. So He lifts you even when you resist. He protects you even when you don't understand distances you, even when you feel confused, and reveals you even when you feel broken, because sometimes you must lose acceptance to find alignment. And alignment with Allah is the most beautiful thing your soul will ever taste. There comes a moment where something inside you shifts so gently you almost miss it. A moment where your heart whispers, I don't want to be accepted by everyone anymore. Not because you're tired of people, but because Allah is preparing you for a life that requires a stronger heart, a clear and a quieter soul. You start noticing that certain conversations don't feel the same anymore. The laughter you once forced doesn't come out the same. The gatherings you once attended don't bring peace the way they used to. You look around and you feel different. You feel like you don't belong in the same rooms anymore. You feel like your soul has outgrown the places you tried so hard to fit into. You feel like something invisible is guiding you somewhere else, and that something is Allah. Allah knows your heart better than you do. He knows the dreams forming inside you even before you admit them to yourself. He knows the pain growing inside you even before you can describe it. He knows the weight on your shoulders even when you smile and pretend it's nothing. So He begins to reshape you. He takes away the desire for shallow acceptance so He can give you the strength for real alignment. He gives you a new kind of courage, the courage to be unseen by the world as long as you are seen by Him. You start to understand that not every smile is sincere, not every compliment is pure, not every friendship is loyal. And instead of hurting you, this new understanding protects you. Allah is clearing the path before you even take the next step. He is showing you that the people who were quick to judge you were never meant to guide you. The people who misunderstood you were never meant to walk beside you. The people who didn't value you were never meant to carry your heart. Your soul begins to crave solitude, not isolation, but peace. You begin enjoying the sound of your own breath, your own thoughts, your own company, because you start feeling Allah with you in ways you never felt before. It's like your heart learns a new language, the language of divine closeness. You start recognizing that the acceptance you once begged for was actually hurting you. Because every time you begged for acceptance, you gave people power over your emotions. But Allah does not want you to live like that. He wants you to rise. He wants you to become strong. He wants you to know your worth with or without people's praise. So He cuts the invisible ropes that tied your heart to people who didn't deserve it. You feel lighter, you feel clearer, you feel more yourself. You begin to see your own soul with new eyes. The more Allah removes your dependence on people, the more He shows in you that your worth is not measured by how many people accept you, but by how deeply Allah accepts you. And Allah has never rejected a sincere heart. You may feel a little lonely at first, but even that loneliness is a gift wrapped in wisdom. Because sometimes Allah isolates you not to punish you, but to reintroduce you to the person you were always meant to be. A person with a calm, a heart, a person with self-respect, a person with dignity, a person with quiet strength, a person who knows their value even in silence. And the more you grow, the more you understand that acceptance from people was too cheap for a heart like yours. A heart that Allah loves, a heart that Allah protects, a heart that Allah guides, a heart that Allah is elevating in ways you never imagined. So if you feel disconnected from people, don't panic. You're not disappearing. You are transforming. You are not being forgotten. You are being chosen. You are not being left behind. You are being lifted. You are not losing acceptance. You are gaining alignment. And alignment with Allah is the kind of acceptance that fills the soul in a way the world never can. When Allah takes people away, He is filtering your life, not emptying it. There comes a moment in every believer's life when Allah begins to remove people from your path. Sometimes softly, sometimes suddenly, sometimes without any explanation at all. At first, it feels like a loss, a deep, confusing ache. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? Why did they change? Why did they leave? Why did this connection break? You replay memories. You question yourself. You blame your heart. You wonder if you were too much or not enough. But my dear soul, what you see as loss, Allah sees as protection. When Allah takes someone away, He is not emptying your life. He is filtering it. He is removing what is not pure, what is not sincere, what is not loyal, what is not meant for your future. Allah sees what you don't see. He hears conversations you never heard. He knows intentions you never sensed. He sees jealousy behind smiles, envy behind kindness, and hypocrisy behind affection. And because He loves you, He doesn't allow every person to walk into the next chapter of your life. You think the separation happened suddenly, but Allah was giving signs for a long time. You just didn't want to believe them. You ignored the shift in someone's tone. You ignored the heaviness you felt in their presence. You ignored the way your heart tightened every time they entered the room. Not because you were blind, but because you were loyal. Allah saw that loyalty. He saw how you gave your heart fully even when theirs was halfway. He saw how you carried people who would have dropped you in your weakest moment. He saw how you made excuses for someone who didn't deserve that kind of softness from you. So Allah did what you were too gentle to do. He stepped in, He removed, He separated, He closed the chapter. Not to hurt you, but to save you, me, soul. Some people in your life were never real, not in the way you thought. They liked your presence, but not your growth. They liked your help, but not your strength. They liked your kindness, but not your boundaries. They liked your silence, but not your voice. They liked you broken because broken people are easier to control. Allah saw that and He refused to let anyone misuse a heart that He Himself softened. So He created distance. He created misunderstanding. He created separation. He created a moment when you finally walked away or they disappeared. You thought it was chaos. It was actually mercy. Because if certain people stayed, they would have damaged the future, iznama, to you. They would have crushed your confidence. They would have delayed your destiny. They would have dimmed the light Allah placed in your soul. They would have taken advantage of the parts of you that Allah wants to protect. Sometimes the greatest gift Allah gives you is the people He removes from your path. You may feel their absence now, but one day you will look back and thank Allah with tears in your eyes for not letting them stay. You will realize they were not removed from your life, they were removed from your future. And the people Allah removes are always replaced with something better. Better for your heart, better for your deen, better for your peace, better for your life purpose. But before Allah adds, He subtracts. Before He blesses, He filters. Before He elevates, He empties your hands so they can receive something higher. It's not loneliness, it's preparation. Let me tell you something deep. There are people you prayed to keep who would have destroyed you in ways you can't imagine. There are people you cried for who were only meant to be lessons, not lifetime chapters. There are people you begged Allah for who were blocking the door to the real blessings coming your way. When you asked Allah, give me what is best for me, you didn't realize that meant removing what was not. Allah answers prayers in ways the heart does not always recognize at first. So when He takes someone away, don't break. Bow, because He is doing something your soul will thank Him for later. You may not understand it now. You may feel confused, heartbroken, or even, but Allah never subtracts without preparing a greater addition. He never closes a door without writing a better one. He never removes a person without protecting your heart from something you didn't see. My dear soul, you think your life is becoming empty, but in reality, it is becoming clean. Allah is washing away the dust, the noise, the fakeness, the burdens, the hidden harm, the silent jealousy, the unspoken hatred, the unseen danger. He is clearing your circle so your blessings don't get contaminated. He is clearing your path so your destiny doesn't get delayed. He is clearing your heart so your next chapter doesn't feel heavy. Everything being removed is making space for everything that is coming, and what's coming is beautifully aligned with your soul. There are moments in life when Allah removes someone so suddenly that your heart doesn't have time to understand what is happening. One day they are close, the next day they are gone. One day they laugh with you, the next day they speak to you like a stranger. One day everything feels normal, and then suddenly there is distance, a silence, a shift you cannot explain. It's confusing, it's painful, it's unexpected, and sometimes it feels unfair. But you must remember, Allah never removes someone without wisdom behind it. You see the separation, Allah sees the future. You see the moment, Allah sees the years ahead. You see their smile, Allah sees their heart. You see what they showed you. Allah sees what they hid from you. There are people who were planning to harm you while pretending to love you. Allah heard the conversations you didn't hear. He saw the intentions you never sensed. He saw the jealousy you failed to notice because your heart was too pure to imagine such things. Some people were only loyal as long as you were weak. As soon as you grew stronger, their love faded. As soon as you matured, their support changed. As soon as you drew boundaries, their respect disappeared. Allah saw that too. You thought they were good for your life. Allah knew they were dangerous for your soul. You thought they were part of your story. Allah knew they were a distraction from your purpose. You thought they would walk with you forever. Allah knew they would betray you the moment your heart needed them the most. So He removed in them early to save you later. Sometimes Allah takes people away to prevent a heartbreak that would have destroyed you. Sometimes He exposes someone so your soul doesn't attach deeper. Sometimes He lets someone disappoint you so you don't depend on them in the next season. Sometimes He breaks the connection so your future remains protected. And sometimes He lets someone walk away because their presence was delaying the blessings you've been praying for. My dear soul, you're not losing people, you're losing illusions. You are not being abandoned, you are being chosen. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Allah is teaching you the difference between who is with you and who is near you, who is real and who is pretending, who loves you and who uses you, who prays for you and who prays against you. Not everyone in your life is meant for your life. Some were meant to pass through, to teach you a lesson, to wake you up, to guide you to a deeper truth, to remind you of your worth, to show you how strong you are when you finally stand alone. People leaving is not the end of your story. Sometimes it is the beginning of your freedom, because Allah cannot bring righteous people into a space already filled with the wrong ones. He cannot write new blessings in a chapter still crowded with old wounds. He cannot align your future while your hands are holding on to the past. He removes so He can rebuild. He subtracts so He can add. He empties so He can fill. He closes doors so you can walk through better ones. You may feel lonely now, but you are not alone. You are in transition. You are in purification. You are in divine rearrangement. The loneliness you feel is actually the space Allah is clearing for the people who will value your heart, respect your soul, and stand beside you with sincerity, loyalty, and iman. New people cannot enter if old people are blocking the door. Better friendships cannot come if fake ones are still draining you. Sincere love cannot arrive if shallow love still occupies your heart, peace cannot grow. If chaos is still sitting at your table, Allah has to clear the room before He brings your blessings. So if people left, let them go. If someone walked away, let them walk. If someone showed you their real face, don't fight it. If a relationship ended, don't chase it. Allah removed them because He heard what you didn't. He saw what you couldn't. And He protected what you didn't even know was under attack. Trust the one who sees. Behind every smile and hears behind every word. Trust the one who removes with mercy and replaces with better. You are not losing people. Allah is removing obstacles. You are not being left behind. Allah is pulling you forward. You are not being emptied. Allah is preparing you for a beautiful refill. My dear soul, what Allah removes was never meant for you. What Allah brings will always be better. Allah makes your heart detach before your life does. One of the gentlest, quietest signs that Allah is aligning your life is when He begins removing the feeling you once had for the wrong people, the wrong places, and the wrong parts of your old life. You'll notice it in ways that are so subtle, so soft, so invisible to the world, but so loud inside your heart. There was a time when certain people mattered to you deeply. Their words could lift you. Their silence could break you. Their attention felt like warmth. Their distance felt like punishment. But look at your heart today. The same people who once carried your joy now feel heavy. The same conversations that once excited you now drain you. The same gatherings that once felt like home now feel unfamiliar. The same habits that once entertained you now feel empty. You didn't wake up and decide this. Allah is doing it. He's quietly detaching your heart from what He never wrote for a future. You may think you're changing, but you're actually awakening. Because before Allah removes something from your life, He removes your attachment to it. He doesn't pull it away suddenly. He slowly drains the desire, the excitement, the pull, the bond. You may sit with someone and feel nothing. You may talk to someone and feel a strange distance. You may try to reconnect with someone and feel your soul pulling back. You may walk into a place you loved and it no longer feels warm. You may return to a habit that once made you happy and it no longer feels satisfying. This is not depression. This is not confusion. This is not a lack of gratitude. This is alignment. Allah is preparing your heart for a new season, a new chapter, a new level, a new circle, a new journey. And that journey can't begin if your heart is still tied to what was meant to fade. Some things were blessings for a time. Some people were lessons for a time. Some places were comfort for a time. Some habits were distractions for a time, but they were never meant to carry you into the next chapter. Allah knows this. Your soul senses this. Your heart feels this, even if your mind hasn't understood yet. You may wonder, why don't I enjoy this anymore? Is this person feel different now? Why do I feel disconnected? Why can't I go back to how it used to be? Why does my heart feel restless around them? Why does this place feel tight instead of peaceful? Because you outgrew it. Because Allah is pushing you beyond it. Because your soul is shifting into a new life that doesn't include the old attachments. It's not that you change suddenly, it's that Allah grew you quietly. Growth is not always loud. Change is not always dramatic. Transformation is not always obvious. Sometimes it's simply a moment you sit with someone and realize your soul no longer connects. Sometimes it's walking into a room and feeling like a stranger in a place you once felt safe. Sometimes it's listening to your old self and feeling like you've shed an entire version of who you once were. Allah removes feelings before He removes people. Because if He didn't soften your heart first, the separation would break you. So He protects you by allowing you to feel the distance before He makes the distance. He lets you notice their energy shifting. He lets you feel their intentions changing. He lets you sense that their season in your life is ending. Not because you are unlovable, but because your heart is too precious to be attached to what cannot grow with you. You weren't meant to stay where you were. You were meant to bloom. Blooming requires leaving some soil behind, leaving some environments behind, leaving some relationships behind, leaving some habits behind, leaving some versions of yourself behind. And Allah knows exactly what your soul can no longer carry. He knows the conversations that no longer feed you. He knows the friendships that no longer support you. He knows the places that no longer reflect who you're becoming. He knows the distractions that are slowing your progress. He knows the people who are too small for the destiny He's preparing for you. So He begins the process slowly. A little discomfort here, a little heaviness there, a little disappointment, a little distance, a little awareness, until your heart reaches a point where it simply says, I love them, but I don't belong here anymore. And when your heart whispers that truth, Allah fills you with a strange strength, the strength to walk away without anger, without bitterness, without regret, because Allah doesn't just remove the feeling. He replaces it with peace, not excitement, not adrenaline, not drama, peace. A peace that tells you you are going where your soul will breathe again. A peace that tells you you don't need to understand everything. You only need to trust the one guiding you. A peace that tells you the chapter is ending because a better one is starting. A peace that tells you your heart is being prepared for people who will love you correctly. A peace that tells you you are not being pulled away. You are being pulled forward. Medo, you are not broken. You are being rebuilt. You are not confused. You are being directed. You are not losing interest. You are losing attachment to what cannot follow you into your future. Do not fear the fading. It is Allah's gentlest form of protection. Do not fear the distance. It is Allah's preparation for elevation. Do not fear the emptiness. It is Allah making room for better. And do not fear the quiet changes in your heart. It means a soul is entering a season where only what is sincere can stay. Allah allows rejection to push you toward your destiny. There is a kind of pain in life that feels sharper than anything else. The pain of rejection. When someone you trusted turns away from you. When someone you valued no longer sees your worth. When someone you hoped for disappears without explanation. When a door you prayed for closes right in your face. When something you planned suddenly slips from your hands, it hurts. Sometimes more than you admit, sometimes more than you even understand. But my dear soul, rejection is not the end. Rejection is a direction. It is Allah turning your face towards something better long before you see it. You may think you are being pushed away, but in reality, you are being guided forward. You may feel like doors are closing, but Allah is silently opening far bigger ones. You may feel like people are breaking you, but Allah is building you into someone stronger than before. Every no in your life came with hidden mercy. Every disappointment came with hidden protection. Every closed door came with hidden redirection. Allah was never rejecting you. He was rejecting the path that would have harmed you. He was rejecting the person who would have betrayed you. He was rejecting the plan that would have delayed you. He was rejecting the circle that would have drained you. He was rejecting the opportunity that would have lowered you. He was rejecting the moment that would have broken your spirit. You cry because you can only see the moment. Allah commands because He sees the entire future. You feel pain because you see loss. Allah gives the pain because He sees danger. The heartbreak you experienced was not a punishment. It was protection. Because if Allah allowed every door you wanted, you would step into things your heart is not ready for. You would trust people who were not written for your journey. You would stay in places that were never meant to hold your destiny. Let me tell you a secret, my dear soul. Sometimes Allah will break your heart to save your soul. He will remove something that is temporary to protect something that is eternal. He will let someone reject you so he can rewrite your path towards someone who will honor you. He will close a path so he can guide you to one that will nourish your soul. He will make something fall apart so you don't settle for a life that was beneath your worth. Because every rejection is actually a hidden elevation. Every closed door is a sign that your soul is too precious for what was behind it. You may not understand now, but one day you will look back and say, Ya Allah, thank you for not giving me that. It would have destroyed me. Rejection is hard because you can't see what's coming next. You can't see the next chapter. You can't see the people Allah is preparing for you. You can't see the moments that will heal you. You can't see the blessings waiting for your arrival. But Allah can, and He is taking you there one rejection at a time. The people who left, you were never meant to stay for your elevation. They would have clapped for your failures and resented your growth. So Allah removed them before they reached the part of your story where your blessings begin. The places you didn't fit were not designed to hold your purpose. Your soul outgrew them long before your feet walked away. So Allah made your heart restless before He changed your path. The opportunities that slipped away were not written for your rizq. If they were good for your soul, you would still have them. If they were part of your story, Allah would have kept them near you. What left you was never yours. What stayed is part of your growth. What is coming is better than everything you prayed for. So don't cry over the doors that Allah slammed. Shut. Cry for the moments Allah saved you without you knowing. If you only knew what He shielded you from, you would fall into sujood from gratitude, not sadness. My dear soul, sometimes Allah delays the blessing until you outgrow the version of yourself that would have misused it. Sometimes Allah withholds the person until your heart becomes strong enough to receive love without begging for it. Sometimes Allah closes the path because your feet are meant to walk towards something greater. Just because you are ready for something does not mean that thing is ready for you. Pain teaches you patience. Rejection teaches you redirection. Loss teaches you reliance on Allah. Waiting teaches you wisdom. And movement teaches you maturity. There are blessings you would have ruined if Allah gave them to you earlier. There are people you would have worshipped if Allah didn't show you their flaws. There are opportunities you would have wasted if Allah didn't teach you humility first. There are paths you would have walked blindly if Allah didn't stop you with rejection. He is not breaking you. He is building you. He is not delaying you. He is strengthening you. He is not pushing you down. He is pushing you forward. Rejection is not Allah saying you don't deserve this. Rejection is Allah saying you deserve better. You deserve a sincerity. You deserve loyalty. You deserve real connections. You deserve a calmness. You deserve a life aligned with what Allah wrote for your soul. My dear soul, don't chase what Allah removed. Don't cling to what Allah closed. Don't cry for what Allah protected you from. Your destiny is too big to fit inside the places that rejected you. Your soul is too precious to be held by hands that did not value it. Your journey is too sacred to share with hearts that were never meant to walk beside you. What felt like reaction was Allah whispering, you're going the wrong way, come back my servant. I have something better for you. There are moments in life when the rejection feels so sharp, so unexpected, so personal that you begin to question your own worth. You ask yourself, was I not good enough? Was my heart not sincere enough? Was my presence not valuable enough? Did I expect too much? Did I love too deeply? Did I trust the wrong people? Did I misread everything? You try to make sense of it. You try to understand why things fell apart. You try to find the moment where everything changed. But my dear soul, the truth is simpler, softer, and far more beautiful. It wasn't you. It was Allah. Allah didn't allow that acceptance because He didn't want you to build your future on a foundation that would collapse. He didn't let that person stay because their loyalty was temporary while your sincerity was permanent. He didn't let that plan work because it would have distracted you from the purpose He designed for your soul. He didn't let that path continue because it was leading you away from who you were born to become. And sometimes Allah lets people reject you so you don't reject your destiny. If rejection didn't happen, you would still be there, still giving your heart to people who didn't know how to hold it. Still fighting for attention from people who didn't value you. Still shrinking yourself to fit into the wrong spaces. Still depending on the wrong hands to comfort you. Still losing yourself, trying to be enough for someone who never saw your worth. Rejection is mercy disguised as pain. It's Allah saying, not this way, my servant. There is a better path. There is a better circle. There is a better life. There is something written for you that you cannot see yet. Rejection saves you from building a home in a place where love would never stay. Rejection saves you from planting your dreams in soil where nothing would grow. Rejection saves you from making permanent decisions with temporary people. Rejection saves you from giving your loyalty to hearts that do not fear Allah. And the truth is, if Allah allowed every person you wanted, you would end up in stories that would destroy your peace. If He allowed every opportunity you chased, you would step into situations that would break your spirit. If He allowed every friendship you held onto, you would be surrounded by people who pretend to support you while secretly hoping for your downfall. So He removes, He blocks, ends, He closes. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are chosen. Chosen for something greater. Chosen for something purer. Chosen for something more meaningful. Chosen for something written by the one who knows tomorrow better than you remember yesterday. Rejection is Allah clearing your path before your feet ever walk on it. It is the unseen. Mercy that prepares your soul for what is coming. You think you lost something valuable, but Allah is saying, I no idea what I saved you from. You think someone else broke the connection, but Allah is saying, I removed what would have broken you later. You think a door closed suddenly, but Allah is saying, I closed it gently before you entered the storm. You think your plans failed, but Allah is saying, I protected you from plans that would have failed you. My dear soul, every rejection that shattered you was preparing your heart to recognize the blessing that will heal you. Every person who walked away made space for someone who will walk with you through everything. Every door that closed redirected you toward a door a soul was meant to open. Every heartbreak you felt was clearing space for a love that will honor your heart. Every loss you cried for was making room for a gift that will transform your life. And every disappointment opened a path to a destiny you cannot yet imagine. You have not been abandoned. You have been redirected. You have not been pushed away. You have been protected. You have not been overlooked. You have been chosen. Allah removes what was temporary, so He can replace it with what is written forever. Do not blush with shame because someone rejected you. Smile with peace because Allah accepted you. Do not mourn the people who walked away. Pray for the people who are walking toward you because Allah sent them. Do not chase what rejected you. Walk toward what is aligned with you. What left you was not meant for you. What stayed is building you. What is coming will change your life. Rejection is not the end of your story. It is Allah correcting your direction. Allah breaks your dependence on people. So you return to Him alone. There is a moment in your journey when Allah begins to gently pull you away from depending on people. Not because people are bad, not because you don't deserve love, not because your heart is weak, but because your soul was never meant to be held by human hands. You were created to lean on one who never changes, never breaks, never leaves, never forgets, never becomes tired, never closes His door. And sometimes the only way Allah can bring you back to Him is by showing you the limits of His creation. You will feel it slowly at first. You send a message to someone and they don't reply. You share your pain and they don't understand. You look for comfort and you find silence. You hope someone will check on you and no one does. You try to express yourself and your words fall empty. It is in these quiet, hidden moments you begin to feel a strange distance between your heart and the people you once relied on. Not because they are cruel, but because Allah is teaching you something deeper. He is teaching you that the heart that depends on people will break again and again. But the heart that depends on Allah will rise again and again. You start to notice that every time you lean too hard on someone, they move away a little. You depend on their presence and suddenly they become busy. You depend on their words and suddenly they fall silent. You depend on their support and suddenly they disappear. You depend on their love and suddenly they change. Each time you try to hold tighter, Allah loosens their grip. Each time you try to depend more, Allah pulls them back. Each time you expect comfort from them, Allah makes the comfort disappear. Not because He wants to hurt you, but because He knows that the heart that depends on people will never taste the sweetness of depending on Him. So Allah begins a beautiful, painful, silent process. He starts breaking the attachments you built without realizing. He starts removing the expectations you placed on people unconsciously. He starts showing you that no one can save your heart the way He can. You will feel lonely. Not because you are alone, but because Allah is emptying the space inside your heart. To fill it with Himself, He removes the noise so you can hear His voice. He removes the distractions so you can find your direction. He removes the temporary so you can cling to the eternal. Sometimes Allah will let you experience the disappointment of humans so you learn the perfection of His mercy. People forget, Allah remembers. People change, Allah remains. People leave, Allah stays. People break promises, Allah fulfills every one of them. People hurt you, Allah heals you. People overlook you, Allah chooses you. He breaks your dependence so you can return to the one who never breaks. My dear soul, you will notice this shift in ways you cannot explain. The reply you once waited for won't matter as much. The attention you once craved will no longer feel important. The validation you once begged for will no longer mean anything. The people you ran after will no longer have power over your emotions. The opinions you once feared will no longer sit heavily on your heart. Allah removes your dependence by removing the emotional weight people had over your heart. You will still love, you will still care, you will still give, you will still be kind, you will still connect with people sincerely, but your heart will no longer collapse when people fail you, because now your heart depends on Allah, not on humans. And that is one of the strongest forms of freedom Allah can ever give you. You will start saying things like, I'm okay, Allah's enough, my heart feels lighter, I'm not worried anymore, my peace doesn't depend on people, I don't need their approval, I'm learning to trust Allah with everything. This is not emotional numbness, this is spiritual maturity. Allah is building you into a stronger, wiser, calmer believer. He is teaching you that the world should sit in your hands, not in your heart. He is teaching you that the heart that belongs to Him cannot be broken by His creation. So He takes away the pain of over-dependence. He takes away the fear of losing people. He takes away the anxiety that came from needing others. He takes away the longing for human validation, and slowly He replaces it with something far better. He gives you certainty. He gives you sukoon, calmness. He gives you tawakkul, trust. He gives you dignity. He gives you strength. He gives you clarity. He gives you inner healing. He gives you a heart that bows to Him alone. My dear soul, when Allah wants you to return to Him, He removes every shoulder you once leaned on until the only place left to fall is secured. Every tear you shed during that transition is witnessed by every silent heartbreak is recorded by Him. Every disappointment is compensated by Him. Every lonely night is rewarded by Him. Every dua you whispered will be answered by Him. People walk away so Allah can walk closer. People stop supporting you so Allah can carry you. People stop listening so Allah can hear your heart clearly. People stop checking on you so Allah can protect you Himself. People stop giving you love so Allah can show you the only love that never fades. And once your heart becomes attached to Him, He gives you back everything you lost, but in purer forms. He gives you friendships that don't break you. He gives you love that honors your heart. He gives you relationships built on sincerity and iman. He gives you opportunities that align with your soul. He gives you blessings that lift you. Spiritually, He gives you people who bring you closer to Him. Not further away, but before Allah adds, He empties. Before He cares, He prepares. Before He fills your heart with light, He removes what was dimming it. Before He brings the right people, it removes your dependence on the wrong ones. And that process, soul is painful but profoundly beautiful, because there is nothing more powerful than a heart that depends on Allah alone. Allah sharpens your spiritual vision before He changes your path. There is a moment in every believer's life when Allah begins to open a different kind of vision inside you. Not the vision of your eyes, but the vision of your heart. This vision feels different, clearer, and deeper than anything you have ever experienced before. It begins softly in a way you almost don't notice. You look at someone and you sense something is off. Even though their face is smiling, you hear certain words and something inside you feels uneasy, even though the tone is sweet. You sit with certain people and suddenly your heart becomes tight, even though nothing wrong was said. You try to ignore it, but the feeling remains. You try to explain it, but your tongue can't find the words. You try to push it away, but your soul whispers. Pay attention. This is not overthinking. This is not fear. This is not insecurity. This is Allah sharpening your inner sight. He is teaching you to see with your heart what your eyes cannot detect. He is guiding you through intuition, through subtle feelings, through unexplainable discomfort, through quiet awareness. You start noticing small details you once overlooked. You start sensing energy you once ignored. You start recognizing sincerity even in silence. You start detecting insincerity even in kindness. It is a strange shift. You cannot describe it, but you can feel it. This is Allah protecting you long before the danger becomes visible. He sharpens your spiritual vision so you don't walk into traps built with soft words. So you don't trust people whose intentions are hollow. So you don't give your heart to those who don't fear Allah. So you don't attach to people who will harm your future. My dear soul, the reason Allah is making you more sensitive, more intuitive, more aware is because your next chapter requires a heart that can see truth before it sees faces. Your destiny, your journey clarity, your purpose requires insight. So Allah trains your heart in ways you cannot understand unless you look back later. You begin to feel the difference between someone who loves you and someone who needs you, between someone who values you and someone who uses you, between someone who guides you and someone who distracts you, between someone who speaks truth and someone who speaks sweet poison. You begin to notice that not every nice person is sincere. Not every funny person is trustworthy. Not every quiet person is innocent. Not every religious person is righteous. Your soul grows sharper than your eyes, and that is one of Allah's greatest gifts. Before Allah changes your path, it changes your perception. He lets you see the world differently. Not as a child who believes every smile, not as a naive heart that trusts every promise, not as a wounded soul that clings to anyone who gives attention, but as a believer who sees through truth, light, iman, and spiritual depth. You begin realizing that energy doesn't lie, intention don't hide for long, hearts speak louder than mouths, truth is felt before it is seen. So Allah trains you. He trains you by removing your old comfort. He trains you by making you feel uncomfortable around the wrong people. He trains you by showing you red flags in ways you cannot ignore. He trains you by exposing insincerity right when you need clarity. He trains you by letting someone's true nature slip out at the perfect moment. You may think you're becoming sensitive, but you're actually becoming guided. He is teaching you to trust your intuition. The intuition He placed inside you. The intuition that protects believers from the storms they cannot yet see. Allah sharpens your spiritual sight so you don't waste years on people who don't deserve your heart. So you don't settle in places that would suffocate your growth. So you don't choose comfort when your destiny requires courage. So you don't cling to relationships that block your elevation, because your next chapter needs a clearer heart and a wiser mind. Allah is preparing you. You will start noticing that you can read people quickly. You can sense their intentions without hearing their words. You can feel dishonesty even when they hide it. Well, you can detect purity even when it's quiet. You can feel jealousy even when people hide behind smiles. You can see through manipulation even when it comes wrapped in affection. This is not paranoia, this is not fear, this is not trauma, this is Allah's light inside you. Light that exposes darkness, light that guides you, light that warns you, light that reassures you, light that protects you, light that stops you from making hard, blinding decisions. Before Allah changes your path, He strengthens your sight. He lets you feel the truth before you see it. He lets you feel danger before you step into it. He lets you notice red flags before the trap closes. He lets you feel the shift before anything obvious happens. He lets your heart sense people long before their reality becomes clear. Because Allah does not allow a sincere heart to walk blindly into harm. My dear soul, when Allah opens your spiritual eyes, you will start recognizing the real from the fake. You will stop being impressed by shallow appearances. You will stop falling for pretty words. You will stop confusing attention with affection. You will stop confusing familiarity with loyalty. You will stop confusing softness with sincerity. You will stop accepting what your soul rejects, and that is the beginning of your liberation. Your heart is no longer fooled by what your eyes see. Your heart becomes guided by what Allah shows you. You begin choosing differently. You begin walking differently. You begin trusting differently. You begin loving differently. You begin expecting differently. Your soul becomes wiser. Your heart becomes stronger. Your mind becomes sharper. Your path becomes clearer, because Allah is preparing you. to walk into a chapter that requires a purified heart, a chapter where your soul must be protected, a chapter where your decisions will shape your destiny, a chapter where the right people will matter more than ever, a chapter where the wrong people can no longer be allowed near your heart. So Allah opens your eyes before He opens your doors. It clears your perception. Before He clears your path, it shows you truth. Before He shows you change, this is not just protection, this is preparation. Your future blessings are too precious to be surrounded by the wrong people. Your destiny is too important to be delayed by the wrong circle. Your soul is too valuable to be handled by careless hearts. So Allah sharpens your sight and says, my servant, this time you will choose with wisdom, you will walk with clarity, you will love with caution, you will trust with insight, you will move with purpose. And when your perception changes, your entire life changes, your circle changes, your priorities change, your goals change, your faith deepens, your awareness expands, your peace grows, and suddenly you begin to understand why Allah made your heart so sensitive to energy, so aware of intentions, so connected to truth, because He was preparing you for a chapter where your greatest protection will not be your strength, but your spiritual vision. Allah lowers your attachment to the dunya so He can raise your attachment to Him. There comes a time in your life when Allah begins to loosen your grip on the dunya, not because He wants you to suffer, not because He wants to take away your joy, not because He wants you to live without love, but because your soul has outgrown the level it once lived on. You may not realize it at first, but slowly, quietly, gently, Allah begins to change. The way your heart experiences the world, things that once excited you no longer make your heart move. Compliments that once boosted you no longer affect you. Attention that once felt important now feels empty. Conversations that once filled your time now drain your spirit. It feels strange at first. You ask yourself, why am I not enjoying this anymore? Why do I feel disconnected from people? Why does this place not feel like home now? Why does this achievement not make me happy? Why does this dunya feel hollow? You try to force excitement, but your heart doesn't respond. You try to connect, but your soul stays. You try to go back to the old version of yourself, but something inside refuses. My dear soul, that something is Allah shifting your desires. He is lowering your attachment to the temporary, so He can raise your attachment to the eternal. This is not sadness. This is not depression. This is not lack of gratitude. This is spiritual awakening. Allah is transitioning your soul from dunya to He is beautifying your heart with the kind of wisdom that cannot be learned from books, but only from divine guidance. You will notice it. You begin to enjoy silence more than noise. You enjoy solitude more than crowds. You enjoy sincerity more than attention. You enjoy prayer more than entertainment. You enjoy real conversations more than meaningless social circles. You enjoy depth more than distraction. Your soul starts craving what lifts it, not what entertains it. Your heart becomes uninterested in what the world chases, because Allah is preparing you to chase something higher. The dunya will start to feel small to you, not because it changed, but because you did. Allah is growing your heart faster than the world around you can keep up with. He is making you spiritually mature. You begin sensing emptiness in the things everyone else is running after. The fame, the attention, the validation, the possessions, the entertainment, the superficial connections, they no longer impress you, because Allah has opened your sight to see beyond them. You begin realizing how many people are spiritually starving while chasing worldly fullness. How many people seem happy online but feel broken inside? How many people look successful but feel empty without Allah? How many hearts look bright externally but feel dark internally? Your soul begins to crave what brings real peace, not temporary pleasure. You crave Quran in the quiet night. You crave sujood with tears. You crave the joy of forgiveness. You crave the sweetness of dua. You crave the calmness of remembering Allah. You crave the beauty of moments where your heart feels safe with Him. This craving is not random. It is a sign that Allah is choosing you to rise, choosing you to return, choosing you to draw closer, choosing you to be among those who love the more than the illusions of dunya. My dear soul, when Allah loves a servant, He removes their attraction to things that destroy the heart. He removes the excitement for sins. He removes the taste for distraction. He removes the desire for shallow praise. He removes the need for validation. He removes the longing for dunya. So the servant becomes free from people's opinions, free from people's standards, free from the burden of proving their worth to those who don't fear Allah. And when the dunya feels heavy or meaningless, Allah whispers to your soul, my servant, I am calling you back to me. Allah lowers your attachment so He can raise your purpose. He lowers your desire for dunya so you can prepare for He lowers your interest in shallow connections so you can find connections that bring you closer to Him. It lowers your excitement for worldly accomplishments so you can find fulfillment in spiritual accomplishments. He lowers your dependence on temporary love so you can taste the beauty of loving Him. And the more Allah lowers your attachment to worldly things, the more He raises your attachment to things that matter forever. You will notice your prayers becoming deeper, your tears becoming more meaningful, your iman becoming more stable, your heart becoming more peaceful, your mind becoming more clear, your life becoming more purposeful. You begin to let go of what doesn't bring you closer to Allah. You stop forcing relationships that drain your spirit. You stop chasing friendships that distract you from your journey. You stop begging for acceptance from those who don't align with your soul. You stop clinging to habits that darken your heart. This change is not easy, but it is necessary. Allah is removing the noise so you can hear Him. He is breaking the illusions so you can see truth. He is purifying your desires so He can purify your destiny. You may feel alone at times, but that loneliness is actually a gift. It is the space Allah makes to rebuild your heart with sincerity, purity and light. He isolates your soul from the dunya so He can prepare it for the dunya. He pulls you away from what harms in you so He can pull you toward what heals you. You are not losing interest in life. You are discovering the meaning of it. You are not detaching from the world. You are connecting deeper with Allah. You are not lowering your desires. You are raising your standards. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming guided. My dear soul, when Allah lowers your attachment to dunya, He is raising your soul to a level where peace becomes natural, gratitude becomes easy, and worship becomes sweet. This is not the end of your joy. This is the beginning of your freedom. There are signs, zupla, gentle signs that Allah is lowering your attachment to the dunya. Signs that you often ignore because you think something is wrong with you, but nothing is wrong. Everything is awakening. You begin to pull away from things that once consumed you. You begin to detach from people you once begged for. You begin to feel distant from environments you once enjoyed. You begin to feel quiet in places you once felt loud. And you wonder, why am I like, what this now? Why doesn't this excite me anymore? Why does this feel meaningless suddenly? Why am I craving peace more than pleasure? Because Allah is preparing you for a different kind of life. A life your old desires could not survive in. This detachment is not punishment, it is purification. It is Allah wiping the dust from the mirror of your heart until your soul can see clearly again. You start noticing that the dunya cannot give what the heart is truly hungry for. It offers temporary satisfaction but not long-term peace. It offers noise but not understanding. It offers people but not sincerity. It offers experiences but not fulfillment. And the more you taste the dunya, the more your heart whispers, this is not what I was created for. You begin craving quiet nights over loud gatherings. You begin craving the tranquility of sujood over the excitement of distractions. You begin craving closeness to Allah over closeness to people who cannot heal you. Not because you're becoming cold, but because you're becoming aware. Aware that dunya promises more than it delivers. Aware that hearts drift when they chase the wrong things. Aware that happiness built on worldly things breaks as soon as those things disappear. So Allah removes your attachment before your attachment harms you. It pulls you back. When the dunya starts pulling you in, it empties your hands. When you begin relying on what cannot last, your this. When they begin leading you away from Him, my dear soul, Allah does not lower your attachment to dunya without raising something beautiful in return. He raises your attachment to truth. He raises your attachment to prayer. He raises your attachment to sincerity. He raises your attachment to gratitude. He raises your attachment to purity. He raises your attachment to His remembrance. He raises your attachment to your own soul. You begin to feel alive in ways the dunya could never offer. Your chest feels lighter. Your mind feels clearer. Your heart feels softer. Your soul feels awake. You no longer look for meaning in the wrong places. You no longer wait for people to give you the happiness that only Allah can provide. You no longer chase validation that comes and goes like seasons. Instead, you find contentment in the simplest things: the morning breeze, the sound of rain, a sincere dua, a quiet walk, a heartfelt cider, a conversation with Allah without words. This is alignment. This is elevation. This is spiritual clarity. Allah showing you that true happiness does not come from the dunya. It comes from the heart that knows how to return to Him. And when the dunya loses its shine, your soul begins to shine instead. You begin loving differently, not with desperation, but with softness, not with fear, but with wisdom, not with neediness, but with balance. You begin living differently. You stop rushing, you stop competing, you stop comparing, you stop worrying about things that do not feed your soul. You begin caring about what truly matters. Your relationship with Allah, your character, your peace, your intentions, your arc. You begin realizing you were never meant to survive on dunya. You were meant to use dunya to reach Jannah. You were never meant to rely on people. You were meant to rely on Allah. You were never meant to be filled by the world. You were meant to be filled by the one who created the world. This realization changes everything. You feel less attached but more fulfilled. Less excited by dunya but more grateful. Less interested in noise but more alive in silence. Less concerned with status but more concerned with sincerity. The dunya becomes small, Allah becomes everything. My dear soul, this shift is not a loss, it is liberation. You are being freed from what distracts your heart. You are being freed from what weakens your soul. You are being freed from what prevents your peace. You are being freed from what pulls you away from Allah, because your soul is rising to a height that dunya cannot reach, rising to a clarity that dunya cannot offer, rising to a purpose that dunya cannot fulfill. And the higher your soul rises, the smaller the dunya looks beneath you. This is the mercy of Allah. This is the love of Allah. This is the alignment of Allah. He lowers your attachment to dunya so He can raise your attachment to Him. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is more beautiful than a heart that finally understands its true home was never here. When Allah aligns you, everything in your life quietly starts falling into place. There comes a moment when your entire life begins to feel like it is shifting. You may not understand it, but you can feel it deep inside your chest, in the quiet places of your heart, in the spaces of your soul that you rarely show anyone. It feels like life is rearranging itself around you. People you once spoke to every day begin to drift away. Habits you were attached to no longer feel the same. Places that once felt like home feel unfamiliar. Goals you once chased no longer attract your heart. Opportunities you once prayed for suddenly don't feel aligned. You keep asking yourself, what is happening to me? Why does everything feel different? Why am I losing interest in things I loved? Why does silence feel more comforting than the things that once distracted me? Soul, you're not losing anything. You're being aligned. Aligned with who you're becoming, aligned with what Allah wrote for you, aligned with your next level, aligned with your spiritual awakening. When Allah wants to take you higher, He first removes everything that was holding you down. He removed distraction, not as a punishment, but as preparation, because your next chapter requires a heart that is focused, clear, light, and deeply connected to Allah. So He starts clearing your path. You will feel this clearing in many quiet ways. Things that once controlled your heart begin losing their power. People who once had authority over your emotions can no longer shake you. Thoughts that once consumed you begin fading. Attachments that once made you cry begin loosening. Distractions that once trapped you begin breaking apart. It feels like everything is slipping away, but in reality Allah is setting you free. Free from the expectations of people, free from the weight of past wounds, free from the loudness of dunya, free from the old version of yourself that could not walk into your future. This freedom feels strange at first. You feel detached, geared, calm, and sometimes misunderstood. You begin saying things like, I feel different. I don't know why. I don't care about this anymore. I just want peace. I don't want arguments. I don't want to impress anyone. I want dunya in my heart. I don't want fake love. I don't want unnecessary stress. Your soul is tired. Not tired of life, but tired of distractions, tired of noise, tired of pretending, tired of chasing things that do not matter, tired of carrying burdens that were never to yours, tired of holding on to people who never held your heart gently, tired of giving energy to things that don't feed your soul. And Allah sees that. So He begins the process of spiritual realignment. He takes away what is pulling you backwards so He can pull you forward. He disconnects you from what drains you so He can connect you to what strengthens you. He ends chapters that your heart didn't have the courage to end, so He can write better chapters. Your soul needs, in order to grow, He sends small whispers to your heart. You are meant for something deeper. You are meant for something purer. You are meant for something peaceful. You are meant for something closer to me. And your heart knows, your soul knows deep inside. You feel it. You start waking up with a desire for something real peace, real clarity, real connection with Allah. The dunya cannot satisfy this desire. No relationship, no achievement, no compliment, no entertainment can touch this place inside your soul, because Allah is the one calling you back to Him. The distractions fall because the connection is rising. When Allah wants to elevate your heart, He removes the things that keep your heart low. He removes gossip so He can fill you with gratitude. He removes people who waste your time so He can bring people who value your soul. He removes sins that weaken your light so He can replace them with acts of worship that strengthen your heart. He removes toxic connections so He can introduce connections that inspire obedience and sincerity. He removes what took you away from Him so He can bring you closer to Him in a way you've never experienced before. And this closeness feels different. You begin feeling peace without a reason. You begin feeling clarity without explanation. You begin feeling gratitude even in difficulty. You begin feeling calm even when life is uncertain. You begin feeling safe even without people. This is the beauty of alignment. Allah removes everything temporary so He can give you something eternal. He removes false promises so He can give you real fulfillment. He removes people who distract you so He can place people who guide you. He removes what is unstable so He can build you with what is firm. He removes no so He can make space for His remembrance. My dear soul, when Allah aligns you, your heart begins to heal without anyone apologizing. Your soul begins to rise without anyone supporting. Your path becomes clear without anyone explaining. Your life starts moving without you forcing anything, because Allah Himself is rearranging everything around you. The people, the emotions, the opportunities, the thoughts, the relationships, the desire, the surroundings, all begin shifting to match the version of you that Allah is preparing. You were not created to live distracted. You were created to live aligned with your purpose, aligned with your values, aligned with your iman, aligned with your... And when Allah gives you alignment, you lose the desire to impress the world, because you finally realize your worth was never meant to be measured by the world. If you reach the end of this message, then know that Allah wanted you here. Not a moment earlier, not a moment later, but exactly now in this state, with this heart, in this chapter of your life. Everything you heard today was not random. It was a seed planted in your soul, a seed of realignment, a seed of awakening, a seed of clarity, a seed of healing, a seed of return. Allah has been waiting for the moment your heart became quiet enough to finally hear Him. And tonight you heard Him. Your life is not off track. Your heart is not late. Your journey is not broken. You are exactly where Allah needs you to be for. The person you are becoming. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep returning to Him. Even if your steps feel slow, even if your heart feels heavy, even if your mind doesn't understand, Allah sees every silent prayer you whispered while crying. He knows the weight you carry that you never speak about. He knows the battles inside you that no one else can see. And He promises, I am nearer to you than your own soul. Your alignment has already begun. Your healing has already started. Your story is already changing in the unseen world. So leave this video with one certainty: you are not alone. You were never alone. And you will never be alone as long as Allah is your anchor. May Allah place light in your heart, peace in your chest, guidance in your steps, and blessings in every direction you turn. And my dear soul, before you close your eyes tonight, speak to Allah even if you don't know what to say. Your tears are your dua. Your silence is your dua. Your breath is your dua. It hears you even when you cannot hear yourself. until we meet again in another reminder. May Allah protect you, heal you, guide you, and keep you aligned with the destiny written for you long before